You know, I've noticed something very interesting about the CMC, the Cutie Mark Crusaders, and I think it's about time I told everyone about it. Hello, my name is CXCD, and if you don't already know, the Cutie Mark Crusaders is a group of ponies in My Little Pony, who originally were made to help each other find their own cutie marks. It turns out that their real destinies was actually helping other ponies along the way to do the exact same thing, or find their own meaning behind their own cutie marks. The CMC in the end of the show actually end up teaching these exact same lessons that they learned at their School of Friendship. I say their School of Friendship. Twilight School of Friendship. Starlight School of Friendship. But something really interested me about this group dynamic. The CMC are weird. And I don't mean weird as in like they're burning ants with a magnifying glass. I mean character relationship-wise, they're all over the place. Let's break it down to the relationship between the CMC and the main six. Sweetie Belle is obviously related to Rarity, right? As Apple Bloom is to Applejack. But for whatever reason, they decided to give Scootaloo absolutely no relationship to Rainbow Dash at all. Despite those two characters having the most similarities and hanging out the most, Scootaloo is not actually Rainbow Dash's sister. I mean, wouldn't it have made sense for Scootaloo to be her sister? I mean, after all, the other two Crusaders are sisters of the main six, right? But Scootaloo doesn't. For all intents and purposes, she's related to being a secondary character. She's a background character. She came from a background character's family. And hey, here's a pretty fun fact. I'm actually pretty sure that Scootaloo was originally meant to be Cheerly's sister. You know, the teacher? Yeah, and that would mean that the connection between her and the rest of the main six are even farther. This comes from the fact that Generation 3, and yes, I'm going there, in Generation 3, Cheerly was Scootaloo's older sister. It was explicitly stated that. I don't know when I heard this, but I do distinctly remember being told this by somebody, that it was supposed to be the exact same way for Generation 4, but it just never happened. They scrapped it and made Scootaloo an only child, I guess. I can't find a source for this information other than word of mouth, but I swear to you, I heard it once. Back to G4 Scootaloo, I also think it's really worth mentioning that Scootaloo is also a technically sister to Rainbow Dash, because midway through Season 3, there's an entire episode dedicated to how Rainbow Dash took Scootaloo under her wing and basically adopted her as a sister. There's no blood pact and they're not blood related or anything like that, but it's still, metaphorically, they're sisters. But Scootaloo is still an outlier to the other two Crusaders, isn't she? It's just a weird choice that was eventually changed with Season 3. I don't understand it. Okay, now that Scootaloo's out of the way, let's get to the CMC's parents, because oh my god, everybody has a problem. Some days you just don't want to wake up. Let's get the easiest one out of the way. Apple Bloom. Apple Bloom's parents are dead. Obviously, right? Although it was never confirmed throughout the show. Even to this day, a character has never looked at the screen and said, Applejack's parents are dead. It is just heavily implied that they are dead. They basically get as close to saying that they are dead without actually saying they're dead. Basically. But it's a little bit like how the production team decided to make Scootaloo not related to the main six for seemingly no reason. It's kind of similar with Apple Bloom's parents. There was really no reason to not show us her parents. It had to have been a deliberate choice to leave her parents out of the picture. And fun fact, in 2011, so that means like around Season 1 times, Lauren Foss actually said that Applejack's parents are not planned, meaning that they were simply just left out. They had no plan for her parents, which once again is just such a weird choice. I mean, it's a farm. You'd obviously want as many farmhands as possible, so show the parents. Just a really weird choice. Finally, in Season 7, we get to see them.
And you should not blame me too if I can't help falling in love with you.
Yeah. They're dead, all right. Like I said, it's never explained how they died. And once again, they never told us to our faces that they died. But with how satisfyingly wrapped up that narrative was in The Perfect Pair, I really don't think it was needed. But still, it was never confirmed. Maybe they could have, I don't know, ran away to Narnia. I don't know. Oh, here's the fun fact. The Perfect Pair isn't actually the first time we ever saw Applejack's parents. No, it's actually in A Royal Problem, when Celestia accesses Luna's dream field. We very briefly see Applejack dreaming about being held by her parents. Oh my god. And also, I would like to headcanon the reason why they look so gray and washed out is because it's been so long since Applejack's parents died that Applejack is beginning to forget their faces. Just thought I would twist the knife a little bit more for you. Just, you know, casually, just... You know? And now on to Scootaloo. I know we already covered Scootaloo, I get it, but I just want to go over her parents just really quickly, okay? Scootaloo's parents are absent. Unlike Apple Bloom's parents, they're not actually dead, contrary to very popular headcanon. But rather, canon-wise, they are explained as almost always being away and on adventure. Just like Steve Irwin. May his soul rest in peace. I've said this opinion before, multiple times, but I just really dislike excuse me. I just really dislike Scootaloo's parents. They leave Scootaloo at a very young age to her aunts to get raised, and then ditch her. A decade or so after she's born, they come back and then say they want to remove Scootaloo from her home life. They want to uproot everything she's ever known for almost no reason. I wouldn't be surprised that as Scootaloo gets older, she realizes, hey, hold on, maybe just for a second, I don't think my parents were very good people. They say they love Scootaloo, and I'm sure that's true to them, but what happened, happened. They tried to, for lack of a better word, destroy Scootaloo's life because of their own egos. The one good thing that came out of this, however, was Aunt Holiday and Aunt Lofty. There's actually a scene in the comics where both of them literally say that Scootaloo is the daughter they never had, which I think is just actually genuinely adorable. I think that's so heartwarming. Holiday and Lofty being lesbians means that they can't have a kid, of course, so Scootaloo's closest thing to have, which is just genuinely adorable. I think that's amazing. So, Appleblosom's parents are dead, and Scootaloo's parents are absent. Well, what about Sweetie Belle then? What's wrong with her parents? Okay, throughout the entirety of MLP, all of G4, we only ever see Sweetie Belle's parents 5 times. They speak once. This one's going to be a little bit more headcanon-y than the other two, but it's stated that Sweetie Belle's parents go on vacation almost constantly, and they regularly leave Sweetie Belle behind in Rarity's care, her sister's care. She is left in her sister's care so often, as a matter of fact, that Sweetie Belle even has her own room within the boutique. And for what? So her parents can go on vacation? That's the kind of thing that retired people do, not people who are actively raising a child do. And isn't it kind of mean they don't at least take Sweetie Belle on some vacations? I mean, they might, it's never stated, but, you know, headcanon then fact, right? Like, imagine if your parents say, hey, we're going to paradise, but you can't come. Sure, I mean, parents have to get away sometimes, right? I mean, that's not a horrible thing to do. But Sweetie Belle never goes on vacation with her parents, and they do it constantly. Sweetie Belle is always left behind, not even taken on a vacation once. Once again, at least we don't think so. I mean, maybe behind the stage curtains it happens, I don't know. And that also makes me feel even worse for Sweetie Belle. Not only do her parents dump her on her sister, but her sister, like, regularly treats her like garbage. There are countless examples throughout the show of Rarity getting angry at Sweetie or breaking Sweetie's trust by looking through her things, right? No wonder Sweetie is a borderline psychopath. And if you don't know what I mean by that, watch this video of mine. Oh, there goes that. Watch this video of mine. It'll explain what I mean by that. So yeah, what do you think? Why do the CMC all have almost borderline dysfunctional families? Like, if you want to know honestly why I think that all the CMC have dysfunctional families, I think because it's very good for kids to see that, hey, having a dysfunctional family is normal. It's okay to have it. It's okay, it's like that. Right? And I would like to also think that the CMC were united because of their dysfunctional families. They all have family problems, so they came together to make the family coalition. Anyways, I think that's all for me from CXCD. Please subscribe, and I will see you guys probably next week, honestly.
I bite at the hand that feeds me, slap at the face that eats me. Some kind of animal cannibal made impressions on me.